Alrighty, here he is your girl Cassie King, and I'm coming to you live in the color, honey. Go ahead, grab your snackies and your snuggy buggies and a little drinky drink because we are going to get into this tea chow. Now, if you are new here, what we like to do here is called the Bible Tea Party, where we get into some of the biblical historical events that took place way back when. Yes, back in the good old days. Okay, so if you are new here and you want to do some catching up, head on over to my YouTube, subscribe, and catch up on that tea. If you have been here and you want to get a quick recap, we're going to go based off of we're going to recap what we last discussed, which is the book of Judges. And I like to give you guys the easy version. If you guys want to download the Bible version app, go ahead and do that so that way you guys can follow along if you choose. If you're not a reader and you don't like to read, then that's what I'm here for. I got you. If you have a small or short attention span, go ahead and head over to my TikTok, and I do post clips over there so that way you can have a little bit of a idea of what we do here and what we're all about. And then we will be getting started in just a moment. I'm just pulling up some more of my tools. But I'm just going to tell you guys, just like I was telling my babies over here in the back, today has been a challenge for me. Well, actually, every day, to be real, has been a challenge for me because, number one, I have a number of mental health that I'm working through, that I'm trying to get through. Number two, I don't really have a lot of support, and I'm the only resource in everyone else's life. And when it comes to me needing a resource, I do not have one. So I get stretched out way too thin, and it completely drains me. So I'm doing everything for everybody and their mama, and then when it comes to doing something for myself, I'm constantly faced with a number of reasons to feel defeated. Um, Last time I got on here, guys, we were supposed to do Judges, but I had all these distractions, kids yelling in the background. Child, it was given, not today. But we did still push through, and we just did regular verse of the days. Okay, so what the verse of the day? If you missed that segment, basically, when you get to the point where you want to figure out how you want to read your Bible, then you can download that app, and you will. It's free. Yes, it is. It is free. Um, you will get what they call the verse of the day, in terms of basically we get one verse a day on the app, and then they give a devotional right afterwards to tell you how to interpret that verse in your life at that time. Right? So you definitely want to make sure that you are getting into doing that on a daily basis as a believer. For the non and or neutral believers, you go ahead, have a seat too, because knowledge is key. And I'm gonna put you up on this ism. You're welcome. But yes, guys, I have been going through it. Not in a physical sense, but more so a mental sense. Number one, because I've been backsliding. Yes, I have. And number two, um, I don't really have a good support system. I mean, it's somewhat cool, but it could definitely be a lot better. I'm the only resource for everybody that's in my life. I'm their resource. I don't have one of my own. I need a me in my life sometimes. Honey Bunches of Oats does support me to an extent, but so what we're gonna do here, guys, is we're gonna do a quick recap for those of you who missed the last meeting. Now we ain't gonna be doing a recap from the beginning to the end. If you missed Genesis, if you missed what is it? What was he? What was he? If you missed Genesis, head over to YouTube. If you missed Exodus, head over to YouTube. If you missed Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, you need to head over to YouTube because we done got through all of that. And pretty much it sums it. I do sum it up on some of the lack of detail, just because I think Leviticus is more so about how we were supposed to gift God back in the good old days, but now that we have Jesus, the no one and lonely Jesus, We don't have to do them kind of things anymore, but it is informational purposes if you wanted to head over into those books. And I do kind of go into a little bit of tea on that on the YouTube. Okay, so you want to head on over there. If you want to get the tea with Genesis and how I interpret the Genesis, everybody know Adam and Eve little situation, child. And then we get some Abraham and his baby mama drama, all of that. You're going to head over to YouTube as well. But I also post a lot of clips on my TikTok. So go ahead and head over to my TikTok. Again, that is Cassie.King with the lowercase x. Okay, so head on up over there and do your big ones. Now we're just going to be going into Judges. We've already went through Joshua as well. We went through everything up until Judges. So we are in Judges. I'm going to give you guys a reminder of what Judges is about, what we've already went through together as far as a recap goes. And then we'll go ahead and pick up where we left off. Sounds good? So go ahead, go get your little snacks because it's about to be some tea, child. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How's everyone feeling today? Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know if you guys are wanting me to do a specific book of the Bible, because we are going to be getting into that as well. Because I definitely don't want to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I want to eventually start interpreting requests of books in the Bible. And that way we can customize it to what you guys are interested in as my viewers. Hi, Amon. Thank you so much for coming in. You late, ain't it? Mm-hmm. So as a person who is battling with spirituality, as a person who's battling with mental health, I just want to tell you guys that it is definitely not the end. If you are constantly feeling defeated, that means that the Lord is working. The Lord is doing his big way. So don't feel like that. I know I feel like that all the time, and I constantly have to reassure myself. I constantly have to motivate myself into coming here and being consistent with you guys. Now I know that it has been a bit of a delay in terms of picking up where we left off, but when I come to you guys with this part of my content, or this, excuse me, with this content, specifically the Bible, I don't want to come if I'm not 100%. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to be like Anon and them. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, you need to go read my content. You need to go catch up. But I'm not trying to be nobody that's playing in God's face. So if I'm not 100%, then I'm just we gonna keep it cute, and it's giving demure, cutesy, let it go out. Yes. You're welcome. Okay. There was someone that had went live last night. I think her name was Monique, and she was kind of being very transparent. So we're going to hope that her day at work went by smoothly. Prayers to her and her situation. I definitely was able to relate to Monique's situation in terms of what she was talking about in her life when it comes to mental health, and constantly feeling the need to constantly having to start all over all again all the time. I am the type of person, once I am faced with too much of a stress load, I will shut down and completely start from scratch. It's just like when I'm doing a painting. If you guys been coming to my lives and you see my painting, it looks like I ain't got nowhere with the girl. But what happened was, if I don't like one thing, I'm gonna let it dry and I'm gonna completely paint all the way over it. So in terms of that, it's kind of like that in my personal life, my financial life. If I feel like something isn't no longer getting my attention, if it's no longer making me get the urge to want to do it, then I just won't do it. Now I just find something else. And I'm constantly doing that. And now that I'm in a situation where I have taken on a number of responsibilities, and I've taken on a number of those in my life who I'm helping, emotionally and financially, whatever case may be, I now and being constantly stretched way too thin, guys. So there are going to be moments where I have to accept the fact that I might not be able to come in on my main portion of my content, which is the Bible tea parties. But also, it's okay to just chill and relax. Okay, I know that just seeing your guys' faces and you guys supporting me and seeing my face, that does a lot to me to keep me motivated. But again, the actual encouragement has been lacking on my end in terms of who's encouraging me and helping me, which ain't nobody, which is fine, especially as a black woman, as a biracial. um People assume we can take it and we're so strong and that we're doing it, we're always able to do it, that we do it effortlessly, that we don't need the encouragement, we don't need the push and the motivation, but we do. We need it just as much as everybody else. Just because we do it effortlessly and just because we do it in a way that we eat every time and it's always giving, definitely support, definitely show the encouragement, definitely uplift each other. And so that's why I'm coming to you guys here now. Before we get into this tea, I wanted to be transparent with you guys on that, because if I'm not my 100% self when it comes to the way that I'm feeling. And sometimes it's not even about the stress. Sometimes it's what I did the night before, you know, or what I didn't do the night before. So it just depends. And I feel like we all have that, but I'm okay with going another route every chance I get. Okay. So you guys definitely support your girl. Okay. Now let's get into this tea. If you guys missed the last Bible tea party when we were in the book of Judges, I'm gonna start that recap now. And then before I get into the recap, I'm going to tell you what it's all about, just in case you have not seen the Bible, if you missed the Bible tea party, or if you just need to know what Judges is given. So the book of Judges again tells us about how the Israelites were transitioning once they got to the land of Canaan. If you are new here, then you would know. You would not. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what the land of Canaan is, but the whole thing was when, for example, Moses, right? He had to go free the Israelites from Pharaoh greedy behind, and the whole purpose is because he needed to free his people and get them back to Canaan, which is the land that God had promised our ancestor Abraham and his sons, right? So that's the whole point. So now they done went through war on top of war, and now they are there, and we wanted to get into the tea on what it was given in terms of the new leader now, Joshua. He then passed away, and we're on a whole nother generation of people, and we're trying to see how they're gonna keep their act together, because just like me, those people get the backsliding and cutting up as well. So they get to go through punishments and things like that. And so it tells us how the people did not obey God, how they worship idols instead of God. And when they did this, God punished them in a way that they were so sorry that he had to wind up giving them leader on top of leader on top of leader, because they just act like they couldn't get their act together, child. So a lot of the leaders in the beginning of the book of Judges were female, specifically Jael and the big homie Deborah. And Deborah was a prophetess, and she used to sit over there by the palm tree reading people, child, and getting them together. And wasn't nobody making no moves without Deborah. Okay, so Deborah was definitely one of the women that we had discussed from that time period in our last meeting. Now, Jael, which was a female ruler, she nailed a man's head to the floor. So she was definitely very, very strong, very, very powerful, and she didn't come to play. She never was one of them to play with. And so we were able to get into that tea as well. And these women were amazing, inspirational, motivational. And so if you ever want to go back into seeing where your ancestors were and what they were about, if you needed to get any ism, go ahead and head over to my YouTube. That's going to be there. Or you can get some of those clips on TikTok. Okay? Now, when we get into Judges, we have already gotten to the point to where they done won their war, they done been forgiven. Now, they keep cutting up. So when they cut up, their enemies get one up on them because they fall, they are pulled away from God's grace. So when you are pulled away from God's grace, then that's when your enemies can have one up on you. Does that make sense? So they kept on, their enemies kept on. At one point, they was under their enemy's power for 8 years. Then it was 20 years. Then it was 40 years. You know, just the stuff like that. And so then they get the hoot and holler, oh, God help us, God help us. So God like, okay, let me help them and figure out how to get them a leader to get them out this situation. And so now we are trying to figure out how many times they gonna keep cutting up. Really. I mean, and then I look at my own life and I'm like, okay, you ate. So it's very similar to when Moses, when he was going to get ready to pass on, he wrote a song. It was a diss record that was made from God towards the Israelites on how he felt and how they had him messed up and how he felt about what or how he was what was going to do to them for being disobedient and worshiping false gods and false idols. Now that's one of the main things that I've noticed in the book of Judges and all the other books. There was a lot of passes on a lot of sinful behavior, but when it came to that false idol worshiping, you know, that evil wicked stuff, oh yeah, he'll cut you off for years. Not even just 1 year, 2 years. It'll be 8 to 10, 8 to 15. So you definitely want to get into that tea on how beneficial it is that we did have for the neutral and true believers. It is very important that you guys understand why Jesus had to do what he did for us. And if you are new here, then I'm going to not give too much tea if you ain't read the Bible, but a lot of people kind of have an idea because Jesus is popular. But that's why he had to take one for the team, because of things that we are going to be discussing in the book of Judges and beyond. Okay. So Deborah also wrote a song about her experience, Deborah, and Jael's experience, who was the ruler. And so you get to see a summarized version of what I just talked to you about. That's going to be Judges 5, and read the whole thing, because that's the whole song basically summarizes the book up until then. Sounds good? Again, guys, I download the Bible, the U version, and you can look up all kinds of different things, but you can read the easy version, which is like a 5th or 4th grader can read this stuff. It's very user friendly. Okay, so if you have a problem with NIV or EVR, King James version with the these and the thous, like I do, definitely download that one. Okay. So we get into the tea after Deborah and them, when the Israelites turned astray yet again. Yet again, they turned astray yet again, and they had to get a new leader by the name of Gideon. So Gideon did his big one, and he wasn't playing. Okay, so you get to see how 300 men, how God used a measly 300 men to conquer thousands and thousands of soldiers. Okay. And if you want to get into that tea, that's going to be Judges 8, if you missed that part. So now we're going to go into Judges 9 and pick up from there. I am going to be reading this to you guys in real time. I did not do this the night before. I want you guys to get my authentic reaction to some of these stories, okay? And if you were not reading along, then this is going to be beneficial to you in the long run. So definitely make sure that you head over to my YouTube so you can have access to this if you're a note taker, etc. So we are in Judges 9, and this is I believe you say Abby Malik or Abby Malek. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's A, B as in Bravo, I, M as in Mary, E, L, E, C as in Charlie, H, and he makes himself the king of the Israelites. I don't know why he thought he was gonna do that, because you know that the one and only God of blood don't play about the Israelites, child. And if you guys need to know, I know you lying. Who did this? If you guys need to know exactly why God don't play about the Israelites, then you need to head over to my YouTube. That's really important, because really the reason why is because of Abraham and his sons and great sons and great grandsons and his sons and it's so far and so on. Yes, it's about that. It's about that promise that God made with him and him alone and with his sons. It ain't got nothing to do with the Israelites. Truthfully, it really has all to do with a promise that God had made, and he has to keep that promise, even if he got to get rid of some of the bad apples. In a lot of cases, he does. He gets rid of the bad apples. Yes, he do. So now we're gonna go into how Abimelech. I'm probably not saying that right. You go read. You open your Bible, Judges 9. You figure out how to say it. I ain't your mama. Anyway, he make himself the king of the Israelites. So we can get into the tea on how he'd go about that. And if I wonder if he was cruel or not. Now, this name is a very familiar name. If you have not been here and you need to go catch up, that's okay. But if you have been here, then you know that Abimelech or Malik, that now they didn't have history with Abraham, his sons, and his sons' sons way back when. And they know for a fact that them people from that bloodline are nothing to play with. Okay. Now, just like with Joseph, even the king that was over there, the slave master that was over there, even when he was false in prison, the Warren saw the God's grace on that one individual. So Abimelech, Malek, he is his family and they bloodline is very familiar with Abraham and they bloodline, and they know don't not to ever play with them. So if he act like he done forgot that, or if his people done forgot that, then I already know it's gonna be given tea, child. So we're gonna get into that, but I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to gather your thoughts. I know I've been rambling on at the mouth, but we do have some catching up to do. Okay. Thank you, friend. So, let's get into it, child. Now, Gideon's son, Abimelech, went to Shechem to speak to his mother's brothers. Now, again, Gideon, guys, is the little sneaky brother who saved the Israelites from being under their enemies' control and under their enemies' power. This most recently. And y'all remember how he caught up to those people for offing his brothers and how he got down about that. And remember how he told his son, who was really, really, really young, to unalive those men. And the man was like, why you gonna ask a kid to do it? Do it yourself. Okay, so this is Gideon, his son. His son's name was Abimelech. I'm probably not saying that right. Now he went to Shechem to speak to his mother's brothers, and he said to them, to their family, a number of things. Now Shechem, back they are related to the situation where Jacob's sons, 2 of them had to go and off the whole male gendered persons for our word and they sister Dinah. Okay, so this is who these people is. If y'all trying to figure out where we at on that, then you need to go catch up, friend. That's all. And I got you. It's okay. I got you. Head over to the YouTube or go catch up on them clips. Just watch them all. Watch them all. All right. So, Abimelech, he said this to the leaders of Shechem. You should not agree to let all of Gideon's 70 sons, because y'all remember Gideon had 70. Remember, we was like, I know you lying. Because he had got married to a number of women and they had a number of children. Now, by the time Jesus came, God wasn't allowing all that. Okay. But back at this time, it was important for you to spread your bloodline as much as possible. So when it come down to war, you got your own personal army type thing. And not even just that, but also that was how it was back in the day. They wanted to have as many people of their bloodline to stretch on no matter what, by any means. Okay. And that's why what was that man's name? Lot. That's why Lot, which is Abraham's nephew, that's why his daughters had already worded him in his sleep, because it was just them 3 after the Sodom and Gomorrah situation. Okay, so they would do what they had to do to make their bloodline live on. So so Gideon had 70 sons to rule. Okay, so Abimelech, he went to Shechem to speak to his mother's brothers, and he said to them and to her family's clan. So he's talking to his mom and them. He said, the leaders of Shechem, he said, you should not agree to let all of Gideon's 70 sons rule over you. It would be better for you to have only one man rule over you. Remember that I belong to your family. Okay, so basically, instead of having everybody and their mama have a say so and making up the rules and all of this and all of that, they're trying to come down with just giving one person the power, which I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to get into the tea. So Abimelech's mother's family told the men of Shechem and him and said that they agreed that Abimelech would be a good ruler for them, and they said that he is our brother. So now they didn't establish that Abimelech is going to rule the Israelites. Okay. So we're going to see if he do a good job, because we already know Joshua 8. And Gideon, he's a little sneaky behind. I was like, okay, a little sneaky cell. So they gave him 70 pieces of silver from the temple of their god, Baal Berith. Y'all remember, God didn't play that. But we're going to see what it's giving. Now, Abimelech used this money to pay some wicked men to help him. Brother already starting off wrong. We done been down this road, friend. Why do we have to go through this again? I'm telling you, somebody called his. Where Deborah? Did Deborah get too elderly or something? What happened with her? Does she know about this? What happened to what happened? Somebody comment down below. What happened to Deborah? Because this right here, I'm telling. He got some help from some wicked men. So we already know his ruling is definitely not gonna last long. He went to his father's home in Ophrah, and he unalived his 70 brothers, the sons of Gideon. He unalived them all on one rock. But Jotham, Gideon's youngest son, hid himself and escaped. You better hide, friend. Your brothers? This boy went over there and unalived all his brothers except one, because one of them hid. Because Gideon, he had the gift of being sneaky. So I don't know why the other ones didn't get away. But Abimelech went to going over there and unalived all his brothers. And if you think I'm lying, go head over to Judges 9, verse 4. I know you lying. The leaders of Shechem and Beth Milo met together. They took Abimelech to the oak tree near the pillar of rock in Shechem, and they made Abimelech king. Oh, okay, because he got rid of all the competition. That's what he did. Mm-hmm. When Jotham heard the news of what happened, he climbed to the top of Mount Gerizim, and he stood there and he shouted to the people, "Leaders of Shechem, listen to me. Then perhaps God will listen to you." One day, the trees decided to choose a king for themselves. They said to the olive tree, "Be our king." But the olive tree replied, My oil pleases men and even the gods. I will not stop making my oil so that I can rule over all of the trees." Then the tree said to the fig tree, "Come and be our king." And the fig tree replied, "I will not stop making sweet figs so that I can rule over you." Then the tree said to the vine, "Come be our king." But the vine answered, "Wine from my grapes makes gods and people happy. I will not stop making wine so that I can rule over you." Finally, the tree said to thorn bush, "Come be our king." Thorn bush said to the trees, "If you really want to choose me as your king, come here, hide under my branches to keep safe. If not, I will cause fire to come out of the thorn bush, and I will burn up the big cedar trees in Lebanon. Okay, so it's given that there's an analogy that this guy is giving in terms of honorable way of ruling, an honorable way of living life. And he's doing it as an analogy of the trees talking amongst themselves. And his name is Jotham. So Jotham basically is telling the people that when it comes to ruling, there's some people, some trees or good rulers would not sacrifice the good of the people or the fruits of their labor to rule over someone. They would much rather make sure that their people are happy and that the Lord is happy as well before they go and try to take all the power just because they was asked to. Does that make sense? So that's what it's giving. That's what this analogy is giving. And let me know if that made sense or if you guys are interpreting it in a different way. Let me know, guys. Let me know if that makes sense. So again, he heard about what's the name did to his own brothers. So again, sorry guys, I'm not good with names. I get that from my mama. My mama ain't gonna remember nobody's name. She gonna just make a name up for you. So Jotham is Jot as in tango, Ham as in Mary. Now he heard about what Abimelech did in terms of how he got that power, and he eliminated all of the competition, which was 70 of his brothers, biological brothers from his dad, and except for one brother got away and hid, which was Jotham. So Jotham, he came out of hiding, and he started telling the people an analogy of trees not giving up their olive oil to rule, trees not giving up their grape or their wine to rule. Trees were not giving up their fruits and labor for the sake of being a ruler. It's not in a man's nature, should not be your nature to want to rule and be this power hungry, okay? So what he's saying is he's using some type of sorcery, some type of unnatural something to even feel the need to want to be this way. And we already know that he had used and he's talking about his brother Abimelech, and he's saying that something ain't right. And this is baby brother. His baby brother got away, he hid. And we already know that in the beginning of the book, it already said that he had used some type of wicked source to get where he was going to get to by eliminating that competition, his brothers. He offed all of them except for the baby brother. So this is the baby brother talking. So he says that the thorn bush said to the trees, if you really want to choose me as your king, come here, hide under the branches to keep safe. If not, I'll cause fire to come out of the thorn bush and I will burn up all the big cedar trees in Lebanon. So in other words, it's basically saying now there is a tree that is willing to rule, and he is willing to unalive or off anyone who's not in agreement with it by any means necessary. So yeah, I'm gonna rule you. You come over here, and if you ain't gonna let me do it, then I'm gonna shut down the shop. Okay. So he basically, here go the baby brother, he came out of hiding. He said, when you chose Abimelech to be your king, you had not been faithful to Gideon and his family. You have not given Gideon the honor that he deserves. Now, y'all remember who Gideon was and what Gideon did. He took 300 men and conquered a whole couple thousands. They said that the men that was over there was so many men, it was like sand on the sea. It was bodies on top of bodies, and they was PC shook because the fear of the Lord, because God struck the fear of the Lord in them. And so Gideon, as soon as we met Gideon, he was doing something sneaky. He was sneaky and very strategic, and he saved them people. He sure did. He saved all of those people with 300 men. It was a very powerful leader at his time. Now, I don't know if it was given Jael or Deborah. I don't know if it was giving them, but he did his big one, and he ate. So here come the baby brother who got away because his big brother offed all of the other brothers. And so the baby brother is basically saying, well, y'all not honoring Gideon by choosing him as your leader, because how he did it was shiesty and trifling, and God sees it all. So we gonna see what it's giving, because it's giving the baby brother want that smoke. It's giving the baby brother grew up. Yes. Okay. We gonna see Jabal. What is his name? Y'all help me say that man's name. Jotham. I don't know how to say it. You gonna figure out how to say it. I'm not your mama. Okay, so he said, my father Gideon fought to save you. He did not try to keep his own life safe. He rescued you from the power of the enemies, which was the Midian people. Probably not saying that right. But you have turned against my father's family today. You unalived his 70 sons on one rock. You have made Abimelech king because he belongs to your family. He is the son of my father's slave wife. If you have really been faithful to Gideon and his family today, I pray that Abimelech will make you happy. I pray that you will make Abimelech happy too. But if you have not been faithful, I pray that Abimelech will destroy you, and I pray that his fire will completely burn up the leaders of Shechem and Beth Milo. And I pray that the fire from those leaders will completely destroy Abimelech. After he said that, Jotham ran away to Beer, and he lived there because he was afraid of his brother Abimelech. So he went over there and talked to he went over there and read Abimelech for filth, and then ran and hide again. Is you scary? Because you can't have all that mouth See, hold on, Jotham. Let me say something real quick. Hold on, Jotham. Let me say something. Let me learn you something real quick. You can't go over there and have all that mouth and then run away. You can't have all that mouth and then go run away. No, friend. We ain't doing that, friend. Where'd you go? Don't be scary. Don't be scary. Okay. Okay. Now, we already know that Abimelech was trifling, and you already know that God sees everything, right? So, Judges 9:22. God starts to punish Abimelech. So we're gonna see what kind of punishment he gonna get. Now, I'm not really into seeing people get whoopings because I know I ain't right. I ain't all the way right either. I still got a lot of sins that I need to start getting rid of. Okay. But at the end of the day, friend, I want to see what he gonna do to him. So Abimelech ruled Israel for 3 years. That ain't nothing. Then God caused the leaders of Shechem to turn against Abimelech. Ooh, he ate. Because see, you went over there and you thought you was finna go to your big one. You thought that these people was your friends, and you turned over your biological family to go run over here and be a ruler. But now they done turned against you. So what you got now? None. You bald-headed, nothing good for nothing, scallywag. God did this to punish Abimelech because he had unalived his brothers, Gideon's 70 sons. Now, Gideon, I don't know, he was doing a whole bunch of boom rooming because 70 sons. Okay. The leaders of Shechem were also guilty of their unaliving because they had helped Abimelech. So they finna get punished too. So it's giving God to pull that belt out. He finna go get that belt. What you gonna say now? And Japheth, get what's his name? Jotham, you come on back up over here. You get over here and get the working for the Lord because you had all that mouth. Where he at? We won't get to him too. Now the leaders of Shechem no longer obeyed Abimelech. Really. They don't want to obey you now. Then they sent men to hide in the hills near Shechem. Those men robbed everyone who traveled on the road, but someone told Abimelech about it. And so Ebed's son, Gal, went to Shechem with his brothers. The leaders of Shechem started to trust Gal as their leader. So now we got somebody just coming in and put the come and take your little old power because you did it the wrong way, as they should. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. You did not have to go over there and unalive your own brothers. They probably didn't even want they probably didn't care for the power. Truthfully, what they need the power for, what they want to rule for. They already defeated their enemy. You was being that greedy for what? Now here we go. Ebed, Ebed, he coming over here and he fit to take your little old throne. Now they went out of the city to pick grapes in their fields. They squeezed the grapes in to make wine. They went to the temple of their God and they had a party. They ate a lot of the food and they drank a lot of wine. And at their party, they crushed Abimelech. Child. So they went over there cutting up they threw a whole party. It was cutting up, doing a big one called talk about that. Oh, we outside getting loaded and this, that, and the third. So Gal said, now they doing this. You know how you go to a party, you get the yeah, girl. You pour that right there. Oh, so why does Abimelech think he's so great? There ain't no reason for people of the Shishim to even serve him. He the son of Gideon. He does not really belong here. Zebul only serves Amalek as his officer. Instead, we should be faithful to Hammer's descendants. He is the ancestor of Shishim's clan. So you a whole outsider over here thinking that I want them into my brother. It was never giving that. So they went over there, started partying and giving up the tea and reading him for filth. Like you, this ain't that. You don't even belong here, friend. You done got all that power because you did something evil and wicked, and you used the force of evilness to get people to ride with you. But you really is not even from here. This is not even your people's for real. You opt your own people to rule somebody else. Okay. Mm-hmm. Comment down below and say try. I'm okay. Thank you so much for asking, Amon. Double tap that screen, drop a bean, double tap that screen, drop a bean, head over and share the live. Share my life, share my life, share my life. Now, if you were the leader of these people, I would remove Amalek as king, and I would say to him, make your army strong and to fight against us. So now they about to go to war because they want to go ahead and kick him out of power anyway. You already know who behind all that. The one and only God. Mm-hmm. Some people told Zebul, the town's officer, okay, what Gal said. And Zebul was like, oh, he trifling. Well, he cutting up. Zal was not happy with those words. But Zebul, you, I don't know what you talk about. You got an attitude for, because he was right. He was telling the truth. See, that's the thing about some people these days too. That's what I also wanted to say too today. Y'all don't like the truth. When y'all get to hearing the truth, y'all rather be delusional. I'm not here to support nobody's delusions. I'm here to tell the truth. If you think I'm lying, you're going to head over to Judges 9 and read verses 25 through 28. Yes. Yeah, he don't want to hear the truth. He don't want to hear the truth. He don't want to hear the truth because he likes to be delusional. He enjoys being delusional. Delusional is his friend. Delusional. Now he sent men secretly to Abimelech with the message, and they told him, a bad son gal out here running his mouth, talking about you don't belong here, and he causing people to turn against you. So you might as well go ahead, get ready to go to war, because they're about to try to push you out of power. Now when the sun come up, quickly attack, and when Gal and his men come out to do their big one, you can do to them what you need to do to your big one. So that was the message that the officer said, because he didn't want to hear the truth. He want his trifling ruler to continue to rule, and so he tried to put him up on game prematurely before the people start to turn against him. Because again, God had to start getting people to turn against him because what he did to his brothers was just out of this world. Trifling, good for nothing. You ain't nothing but a. Okay. So Abimelech and all his soldiers came out that night. They hid in 4 groups outside of Shushan. The next morning, Gal stood beside the city gate. He was waiting for him at the door. Now Abimelech and his men came out from the places where they were hiding. Gal saw them, and he said to Zebul, look, there are men coming down from the top of the hills. Zebul replied, no, you wrong. You can see shadows in the hills. They only look like men. So you fit to play in my face? Zebul. Now we know that you know that we can see that we see the men. You gonna tell me it's shadows? Oh, so you just came to play in my face, huh? Gal said, look, I can really see men who are coming down from the middle of the land. There's another group of men who are coming along the road from the Denver's oak tree. Then here comes then Zebel gonna say, what has happened to your proud words now? You boasted when you said Abimelech is nobody. We should not serve him. Here are the men that you assaulted, and as useless. So now go out there and go do your big one. So he basically, so Zabul, he basically said, "Oh, where's all that mouth now? You had all that mouth, but now the phone fit to go down. Now we fit to get down and put our dukes in. You ain't got nothing to say. Oh no, these are the same people that you was talking about, calling about how they was useless and they were nobody. So go ahead, go down there and put your dukes up. Go down there and go squabble because you had all that mouth. See, that's the thing about people today. Ugh. Don't make me shake my wig off. Stop having all that mouth if you can't fight. Jotham, I don't know where he came over here with all that mouth, but he need to come on back because I need to see him. So somebody called Deborah. Couldn't be me, it couldn't be Paul. It couldn't be me, it couldn't be Peter. Matthew, where my money at? You said that boy didn't belong over here, that he ain't nobody, that he not even from the bloodline of what's the name, and his people ain't nobody, and wooty woo, and then now here they come, ready to ride. You ain't got, now you want to post up. No, get down there, put your tennis shoes on, and doka. Dukem. Don't have no mouth if you can't back it up. Don't talk that talk if you can't walk that walk. Bald headed. But we gonna see what Gal gonna say. We gonna see if Gal gonna stand on business there. Comment down below. Say, Gal, put your twos on. Do your 1 2. Do your skip to your loo, honey. Whew. Where Peter at? Now, Gal led the men of Shushan out of the city to fight against Amalek. So he said, okay, bet. Amalek chased after him. Gal and his men ran back into the city, but Amalek and his men caught up and unalived many of them before they reached the city gate. Then Amalek went back to live in Aroma, and Zabul made Gal and his brothers leave Shushan. Well, I guess they got whooped on and ran off. That's why you gotta watch how you be talking. You ain't about that. You might be right and you might be telling the truth, but at least he was willing to stand on business. At least he did try to fight a little bit. At least he did, because Jotham, Jotham, you came over there and said X, Y, and Z, and then ran off. Where your mama at? You out of pocket for that. The next day, the people of Shushan went out into the fields around the city. Amalek heard about this. He took his men with him and he made them hide in 3 groups in fields. And he saw the people coming out of the city. He and his men attacked them. It's going down. Amalek and his group of soldiers ran to stand at the city gate. So they waiting for them at the door yet again. Where your mama at? They stopped the people going back into the city. The other 2 groups attacked the people in the fields and unalived them. Amalek attacked the city all day, and he took the city and he unalived all the people who lived there. And then he destroyed the city. He put salt all over it as a curse, because he's an evil person, because he do wicked witchcraft. He's a wicked man. That's why. Because he had that power, because he was a sorcerer. He was using wicked stuff to get by in life. Okay. So he went to doing hoodoo woodoo. He went to doing hoodoo woodoo witchy woodoo. No shade to my witches. The good one. So you say, I don't know. Hoodoo woodoo. That's what he went to doing, sprinkling that little salt around after he done went and unalived all the people who went to sprinkling salt and stuff like that. Call your mama. I'm telling Jesus. Woo! He's a dark man, ain't he? You sure that was Gideon's son? Now, if y'all think I'm lying about him being a hoodoo voodooer, then you need to go down to the Judges 9 verses 43 to 45. Read it. I'm reading the easy version, so keep up. I'm waiting on y'all to go catch that tea. That man was dark. He was the entity of the enemy. Now I'm gonna read it to you again. For the big backs in the back. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I like to eat too. Poke chop, poke chop. Okay. So boom. Gal, he led the men of Shechem out of the city to fight against Abimelech, the evil hoodoer. Okay. Which is Gideon's evil offspring. Now, Abimelech chased after him. Gal and his men ran back to the city. So boom. Remember, the one and only God, the HP, put that on you, get that on you, wake it up, start getting them people to turn against him slowly but surely. But you gotta understand that this little evil hoodoer, he was using evil witchy voodoo to get by in life. But Amalek, him and his man, they caught up and they unalived a whole bunch of people, doing evil, mean, witchy hoodoo stuff to him. And then Abimelech went back to live in Amara, so he went to go live somewhere else for a little bit. And Zebul, which is his head officer, made Gal and his brothers leave Shechem. So he told them, y'all can go ahead and leave now. We done did our big one. Because they evil. And Zebul, you's delusional. If you ain't getting down with the get down, you're delusional. You're going to be having to pay for that as well, friend. So I can't stand no hair behind my ear. I promise you I don't. But I can't find my hairpin. Now the next day, the people of Shechem, they went out into the fields around the city, and Abimelech heard about this. So he took his men. Listen. He done heard about this. He done already unalive all kind of people. That's how evil he is. You see what I'm saying? That's how evil he is. It's just listen to me. It's some people that's just evil. They just don't want to let up. You already done unalive all kind of people and did your big one. Why do you have to hear about somebody else said something? I'm going over there and do some more evil stuff. Sit down. Ooh, where Peter at? He took his men with him and he made them hide in 3 groups. So he was strategic about his little evil behavior. When he saw the people coming out of the city, he and his men attacked them. Why? So Amalek and his group of soldiers ran to the stand at the city of the gate where people couldn't come in or out. Where people could not come in or out. And they stopped people going back into the city. The other 2 groups attacked the people in the fields and unalived them. Abimelech attacked the city all that day. The whole day he was just out there being evil. The whole day. He didn't take no breaks or nothing. Just evil. Ain't that sad? That's sad, friend. Just evil. That don't make no sense to be evil like that. I would pray for you, but we're gonna see what the one and only HPGOD gonna do. The Father. He took the city and unalived all the people who lived there. Then he destroyed the city. So not only did he unalive everybody and their mama, but then he don't destroy whatever was left to be evil. And then he put salt all over it to do his voodoo hoodoo stuff. The city's leaders who lived in the Tower of Shechem heard the news. They went to hide in a strong building of Elberth's temple. Somebody told Abimelech that all the leaders were together in the temple. Who's the messenger? Because you got a big old mouth. Why is you running your mouth all the time? Shut up. Where your mama at? I'm telling Jesus. He took all his men up to Mount Zalem. And he used an axe to cut some branches off the tree. He put the branches on his shoulders. Then I already know what he finna do. I know he ain't finna do what I think he finna do. What y'all think he finna do? He finna do something evil, his ugly self. Then he said to the men, be quick. Do the same thing as you seen me do. So all the men cut branches and they followed Abimelech. They put the branches around the strong building. He about to piss. Oh my, I know you lying. He did not do that. Why is he evil like that? Oh my Lord. I'm telling, what happened? Okay, so y'all remember how, let me tell you what happened. This got my stomach hurting. That's just nasty. That's just evil, ugly work. He's an evil, wretched entity of the enemy. So the next day, the people of Shechem, they went. Hold on, sorry. Let me go back. So the city's leaders who lived in the Tower of Shechem, they heard the news. So they went to hide into this temple, okay? And they was hiding in the temple because they heard about how evil this man was, and they didn't want no smoke. They were like, you know what? We're just gonna go hide before he come and find out about us and do something evil to us too. But you know, when we first started this, I was like, we're gonna see what it's giving, because I didn't know if he was gonna do nothing, if he was gonna be doing something good or something bad, but I knew it was something. He was evil. Yeah, he was a evil man. Yes. He was evil. So they went. So Abimelech, him and his peoples, they went around cutting down all kind of trees, putting them on their shoulder. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all get them too. Y'all get your branches too. Everybody do what I said. Everybody do what I did. Everybody. So everybody and their mama doing the same thing, cutting off branches. I said, I know they're not finna go over there and do what I think they fit to go do. So they put the branches around the strong building, the thing that they was all them people was hiding in, and they brought fire to burn down the building. And there were about 1,000 men and women in the Tower of Shechem. 1,000. And they were all unalived in the fire. You are evil, trifling, good for nothing, big back, pimple having, ugly, evil entity of the enemy in your. Y'all pray for me. This man is evil. And if you think I might, head over to Judges in Judges 9, verse 47 through verse 49. I'm reading the easy version. He trifling. He was out of pocket. He was evil. You already done put salt around and did your voodoo hoodoo stuff. Now here you is coming over here to do all this evil stuff. 1,000 men and women? Really, friend? That was already hiding. That's another thing. That's one thing I don't like about bullies. If the girl or the boy say that if they want to run and they want to hide, then leave them alone. They don't want to fight. You can't just go and be beating up on people and unaliving people. That's just, it's giving Dahmer. He about to make my back hurt. My head itch. I can't believe it. I can't even listen, y'all. This is my real authentic reaction in real time. I cannot believe that this is going on. And this is why I love to read my Bible, because it's always tea. And I love me some good tea. But child, whoever the messenger is, you ought to be. something. Where is Jesus when you need him? Then Abimelech and all his men went to Thebez, and they made their camp around the city to attack. There was a stronger tower in the middle of the city. All the leaders of the city, as well as the men and women, ran there to hide. Oh my gosh. They locked the door. They went up to the roof of the tower. Amalek and his men came to attack the tower. Amalek went near to the door of the tower to put fire there. A woman on the roof dropped a heavy rock on his and broke. Okay. Set him up. That's what I'm talking about, because somebody need to get you. Okay, guys, so I'm going to try to say this in a very censored way for some of my other viewers, okay? So there was some people that was hiding in another tower. A whole bunch of people. But this time, when he tried to come over there to do what he did to the last tower, it was a lady on the top of the tower, at the very top, and she grabbed a rock and she went like this, and then the rock fell. And then it came here. Boom. His thinker gone. No more thinker for him. And he was unalive on contact. He was unalive on impact, y'all. Mom, thank you so much, my love. He was unalive on impact. They logged him. They logged him. So Amalek quickly said, I thought if they broke his, Amalek quickly said to the young man who carried his weapon, take hold of your sword and unalive me. Okay, so I guess he did. I lied. Let me back up a little bit. I thought he was unalived on contact, but it just broke his thinker. It didn't completely. He still had a little sense. So it broke his thinker, but he was still breathing. So he said, take a hold of your sword and unalive me. I do not want people to say that a woman unalived me. So the young man unalived him with his sword. Then the Israelites saw that Amalek was unalived and they went home. That's sad. I don't want to go out by a woman. A woman can't take me out. You do it. No, she took you out, friend. You was gonna do it. You was gonna be gone anyway. She did it. You was already fit to be gone. You just didn't want to suffer. Yeah, that was how God punished Amalek, and he had done an evil thing against his father when he unalived his 70 brothers. God was also punishing the people of Shechem for the evil things that they had done. When Gideon's son Jotham had cursed them, he said these things will happen. Okay, but Jotham, you had all that mouth and you ran away. Where you at now, friend? Was you that? Well, you know what? He did what he needed to do to survive, because Amalek was evil. So we gonna not too much on him. Not too much on him. Not too much on him. Okay. So we are now moving on into Judges 10. Now, if you guys want to know how Amalek was finished and offed, then you're going to head over to Judges 9, and that's going to be 51 through 55. Okay, so y'all go do y'all big one and y'all go get the receipts. And if you guys want to catch up on anything, if you're just coming in, this is the Cassie King Live. Thank you so much for coming into my live. We are going to be going over Judges. We've already went through Judges 8 and 9. So we're going to go into Judges 10, and then we're going to close out after that. Now, guys, when it comes to the evildoers, God sees it all. The HPGOD, he will do his big one. You thought you did your big one, but his big one is going to be bigger. So make sure that you watch your back. And every time somebody come to you and get in your ear about, oh, such and such, such and such, let go and let God. Because they pumped that man up all the way to his ending. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, so Judges 10, Tola and Jer. So after Amalek's unaliving, another man became the Israel leader to rescue them. Okay, he was Tola. That's T as in Tango, Ola, the son of Pua, grandson of Dodo, and he belonged to Isaac Char's tribe. He lived in Shamir in the hill country of Ephraim. Tola led Israel. Tola led Israel for 23 years. Then he passed away. After Tola, there was Jer, and Jer of Galilee became Israel's leader, and he led Israel for 22 years. He had 30 sons, and they rode on 30 donkeys, and they ruled 30 towns in Galilee, and these towns are still called Havoth, Jer's villages. Then Jer passed away, and they buried him in Kaman. So now you guys, if you guys want to know how the baton was picked up in terms of Israelites being having a leader, then that's how that went down after the evil Abimelech was unalived. Whew. Sorry, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions so far. Double tap that screen, like, share the live, if you are just coming in, it's your girl Cassie King, and I'm coming to you live and in color. All right, so I will be downloading this recording, and I will be uploading this on my YouTube for those of you who are really interested. If you guys want to catch up on that tea, then yes, I got you. If you have a short attention span, then you'll head over to my TikTok, Cassie.King with the letter X, lowercase x, and you'll head over there and catch some clips. So I will be doing some clips from today's live as well. And then you guys will have an idea of what this is all about. Catch some of that tea. It is always best to use the Bible because we're going through so many different things in life, and this is going to be a source of protection, trust, and believe. I am one to know. Okay? The Israelites again did things that the Lord saw were evil. Obviously, they always cutting up. They worshipped idols of Baal and Ashtoreth. Why? They also worshiped the gods of Syria, Sidon, and Moab, as well as the gods of the Ammonites and the Philistines. They turned away from God, and they did not serve him anymore. Why? I have no idea. Because, like, we all have those things. That's why I say, hold on, not too much on the Israelites, because it's like, okay, girl, we get it. They always get cutting up, and then God always making sure that they are able to be redeemed. Okay. But this is generation and generation that have been seeing things that are being normalized where they're at, right? So a lot of times we do things and because we think that it's normal and that it's okay, that nobody else is saying that it's wrong. So I think that that's what a lot of their, and that's just my opinion based off of my readings and my research. Okay. So if there's people who are doing the false idol worshiping and doing evil things, it's because it's the way of life of these cities that they live in, and these people's culture is based off of these false idols and false gods. So when they are going around doing their big one and they doing this, that, and the third, then we get to see that they are hold on. They are picking up on false idol worshiping based off of it being so normalized in the cities that they're in. Okay. So the Lord became angry with the Israelites. He put them under the power of the Ammonites and the Philistines. That year, they attacked the Israelites who lived in the Gilead region on the east side of the Jordan River. Now, again, these are considered God's people, right? So these is his kids. You notice that when people say, I don't know if there's any parents in here, I don't know if there's any mothers in here or fathers, but it's just like when you tell your kid, all right, Timmy, now if you go over there, go to that park and you get to pulling off them things off that thing for whatever the case may be, I'm going to whoop your butt. And they be like, oh, but Janet and such are doing it. I don't care. I'm not Janet and such. My mom, your mama, and I said we'll go. And so when Janet and such was going over there and they were worshiping false idols and stuff like that, they were getting away with it. But when Timmy, who belonged to the Lord, he wanted to try it, he wanted to get that whooping. And so that's pretty much what will happen there. So you definitely want to make sure you catch the tea on that. So that way, if you feel like you are being disciplined, it's because God considers you his child. You're welcome. So that year, they attacked the Israelites who lived in Gilead region on the east side of Jordan River. And that was the land where the Amorites lived. And they were cruel to the Israelites for 18 years. Dang. Then the Ammonites went across the Jordan River to fight against the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Ephraim. The Israelites were in a lot of trouble. The Israelites called out to the Lord for help. They said, we have turned against you. We have worshipped the idols of Baal instead of you. Oh, really? I didn't notice. Double tap that screen, like, share the live. Yeah. Okay. So the Lord replied, I have saved you many times when you called out to help. And I saved you from the power of the Egyptians, the Amorites, the Ammonites, the Philistines, the Sidonians, the Amalekites, and the Midianites. But now you done turned away from me and worshiped other gods instead. So I will not rescue you again. Go and ask the other gods to help you. They're the guys that you've chosen, so let them rescue you out of your trouble. I said the HPGOT. Where the other guys at? No. Don't try to come up over here and talk about, can you help me now? No, you went over there and you thought you was grown. You wanted to go outside and you wanted to go and do your big one. And now you want to come home. No. That's not how it's going to work. I'd have helped you. I'd have picked you up. I'd have saved you. I'd have blessed you. But you didn't show me no appreciation. You went and turned against me and gave somebody else what I deserved, which was the worship. You was worshiping the wrong one. So now you want to come to me. Now go to the ones you was worshiping. You ask them for help. Where they at? Where Keisha? Mm-hmm. But the Israelites said to the Lord, we are guilty. Punish us in whatever way you think, but please rescue us now. They threw away all the idols of the foreign gods that they were been worshiping, and they began to worship the Lord again. Finally, the Lord decided to help them because he saw how upset they were. Oh, and that's why I love the HPGOD, because he gonna forgive you, friend. He gonna forgive you, friend. He gonna forgive you. If you decide to give up all of that trifling act and you get to get on your knees and you get to worship and putting on that Leandra Johnson, He'll forgive you and he'll help you. But you turn against him, he's gonna turn against you. You'll be like, dang, God don't even want to help me. No, you wasn't trying to help God. Because that's the God, the one and only Father. So the Ammonite army came to Gilead and they made their camp there. The Israelite army also came and they made their camp in Mizpah. The leaders of the people of Gilead asked each other, "Who will lead us to attack the Ammonites?" And any man who agrees to do that will become the leader of everyone who lives in Gilead. So now they're trying to figure out who's gonna get down, who's gonna be really ready to ride. I want to see too who really ready to ride. So Judges 11. Okay, Japhath agrees to lead the Israelites. He better eat. He better not be scary. So now, guys, we are in Judges 11. If you guys want to catch the tea on when God and the Israelites had a back and forth on basically, you want to come home now? He said no. But then they started getting rid of the first idols. They started giving up their wicked ways. And so God was like, okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to send somebody to help you. And that's going to be Judges 10. Read the whole thing. Japhath agrees to lead the Israelites. Now, Japhath of Gilead was a brave soldier. His father's name was Gilead, but his mother was a prostitute. Now, they ain't had to put his mama T out there like that. His mother was a whore. Okay, that's not funny. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. She did what she needed to do. Okay. Shoot, don't be coming for the new leaders, mama. They ain't had. You see how that's why you gotta read your Bible, because it be giving tea. His mother was a worker, an S worker. Okay. So now we know who his mama and his daddy is, and we're gonna see what kind of personality, what character traits he has, and what he does to help the Israelites, and if he's gonna be a real one or not. Now, I do believe that he was sent from the HPGOD himself. So we're gonna see what it's given and if he's gonna eat. And he better. We're gonna see if he gonna eat, child. So Gilead's wife also gave birth to sons for him. When they were older, they sent Japhath away from the family home, and they said to him, "You will not receive any of your father's things when he passes away. You are the son of a prostitute, not your mother's son, not our mother's son." So now we get to see how he is and what is given on how they treated him. So he might be a humble man, and that's good. That's good that he is humble, because when it comes to the Israelites, we need someone that's humble. Like Moses was the most humble person in his time. Joshua was very humble because he was mentored by Moses. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Japhath. Sorry guys, I think I'm saying his name wrong. Japhatha. So that's J as in justice, E P as in Paul, H T as in tango, H-A-H. So I'm probably saying I said his name wrong, guys. But again, he's going to be the new leader, and he comes from a broken home. His mother was an S worker, and his father was Gilead. Okay. The one and only Gilead himself. The city was named after his father. But because his mama was a whore, forgive me, Lord, because she was an S worker or whatever the case may be, they disowned him when it came to getting the inheritance from his father, because he was considered S worker's son. Okay, so he's probably going to be a very humble person. Let's see what it's given. So Japhetha ran away from his brothers. He went to live in the land of Tob. Other men joined the group of Japhetha. that Jephthah led, and they did not obey any laws. Oh, so he became a rebel. Okay. So let's see what it's given. I don't know. I love me a good story of somebody that came from a broken background and see how they boss up from that broken background. It's this guy by the name of, I don't know if you guys uh do like watch YouTube and stuff like that, but this guy, he's a rapper. He's a very, very humble man, but he also tells his story, and he tells how he overcame some of those struggles, and now he's very, very successful. His name is, I think his rap name is Mr. Smart, or Smart Guy. And he comes from a very broken past or whatever. So you get to see today's men that went through similar situations whose parents um, were not the best in terms of what they did for a living or how they were, whether it was drug abuse or whatever kind of abuse. And so I'm really into these kind of stories, even in today's time with today's men. So I'm really interested in seeing what Jephthah is going to do in terms of if he's a humble person, or if he used that part of his life as being with his mama being an S worker, if that turned him into being the next Abimelech, or if he's going to be a humble person and really rule Israelite in a very humbling, respectful, honorable way. So we're going to see what it's given. So some time later, because now he is currently at this time, because they told him he wasn't going to get his inheritance due to his mama being an S worker, he done turned into a whole rebel, and he got people that follow him now. He got his own little crew. So we're going to see what it's given. So some time later, the Ammonite soldiers came to fight against Israel. Then the Ammonites attacked the leaders of Gilead, went to bring Jephthah from the land of Tob. Okay, and they said to him, "Come and lead our army to fight against the Ammonites." And so Jephthah said, before this, you hated me. You made me leave my father's house. So why would I come and help you now that you in trouble? Because they see that you bossed up, and they see that you probably got that flavor that's required to live a successful life, right? Probably. So the leaders of Gilead replied. They said, "We really need you to help us. Please join us to fight against the Ammonites, and then we will make you leader of everyone who lives in Gilead." It's giving Joseph. Okay. So he went from a humble background to being offered the whole city. Okay. So Jephthah said to them, "So you're saying that I should come back home to fight with you against the Ammonites, and you're saying if the Lord gives them to me, I will be your leader. Is this really true?" Now, if you guys want to know where this back and forth is happening, and when they started offering Jephthah leadership and ruler titles, then you want to go over to Judges 11 and read verses 5 through 10. So the leaders in Gilead said, "We promised that we do." Excuse me. So the leaders of Gilead, they said, "We promised that we would do that. The Lord will judge between us if we do not do what we've said." So you already know those people, especially the Israelites, that once they say they're gonna do something, they have to do it. They have to stand on business because it is a commandment. Okay, so that's just their cultural belief, especially if they call themselves trying to come back home after all the stuff they've been going through, because they realize that they need God, the real HP, the real GLD. Yeah, wake it up. So the leaders of Galilee, they promised that they're gonna keep their word on that. So Jephthah, he went back to them in the Gilead. The people made him the ruler and leader of the army. And Mizpah, Jephthah repeated his promise to the Lord. So it seems that he is a man of God, and even though he had a humbling life due to the fact that his mama was an S worker, and they disowned him, talking about he ain't worthy of the land, he ain't worthy to be there because his mama was an S worker. Now that all of a sudden he done went on, he became a rebel, and he already had his own crew. Now they like, okay, well, he got the skill, the vernacular that's required to be a ruler, and so we need a promise that we want to make him our ruler. And so it seems to me that Jephthah is a humble man, but it also gives that his life experience is probably giving him the condition to be wise and intellectual when it comes to winning wars strategically. So that's what it's giving. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. So Jephthah's message to the Ammonites. Jephthah sent men with the message to the Ammonite king, and he asked, "Why have you come to fight against our people? What have we done to make you angry?" So the Ammonite king, he answered, he's Jephthah's man, "You Israelites come here from Egypt, and you took our land on the east side of Jordan River. You have taken for yourselves all our land from Arnon River in the south of Jabbok River in the north, and you have taken it all as far as the Jordan River in now the west. Now give it back to us so that we don't need to fight for it." First of all, Ammonite king, you need to be taking that up with the HPGOD, because at the end of the day, those people, the Israelites, were entitled to these things based off of a promise from the HPGOD. So you need to take it up with them. And if you want war, then it's going to be war. And if you want to fall under the feet of these people like they did before, then do your big one, sir. So Jephthah sent the men back to the Ammonite king, and they said to him, "This is what Jephthah says. Israel did not take for themselves the land of Moab or the land of the Ammonites. When the Israelites left Egypt, they went through the desert as far as the Red Sea." Okay, so he did his research. Do your research. Okay, he did his research. He said, "First of all, I'm gonna give you. First of all, this is what it is and what it ain't." He said the Israelites left Egypt and they went through the desert as far as the Red Sea. Then they traveled to Kadesh. They sent the message from the king of Edom. They asked him, "Please let us travel through your land." But the king of Edom refused to let them do that. So the Israelites went with the same message to King Moab. He refused to agree. So the Israelites stayed at Kadesh. Next, the Israelites went through the desert around the edge of Edom and Moab. They arrived on the east side of Moab's land. They put up their tents and others on the other side of the Arnon River, which was the border of Moab's land. They did not go into Moab. Shion was the Amorite king who ruled in Heshbon. The Israelites sent him a message. They asked him, "Please let us travel through your land." But the king of Sion, he did not trust the Israelites, and he would not let them travel through his land. He brought his whole army to meet together at the Jahaz. And then he had fought against the Israelites. So the Lord, Israel's God, pushed Sion and his whole army under the power of the Israelites. The Israelites won the fight against the Amorites, and they took the Amorites' land for themselves. They went from the Arnon River in the south to Jabbok River in the north, and they went from the desert to the east of Jordan River into the west. So you should realize that the Lord, Israel's God, chased out the Amorites. He has done this so that his own people, the Israelites, can live there. So why do you think that you could take it from them? You may take the land that your God, Chemosh, gives you, whoever that is. We will live in the land that the Lord has given to us. Okay. Okay, Jephthah. He eating. Okay, I see you. I was gonna say, because okay. And he said, "Do you think that you are better than Zippor's son, Balak, king of Moab?" He was not brave enough to argue with the Israelites or fight against them. The Israelites have been living there for 300 years. They lived in Heshbon and Orah and the villages around those towns, and they had lived in the towns along the Arnon River too. And all that time, you have not tried to take back those places for yourself. I have not done anything to hurt you. You are the one who is doing something wrong if you attack us. The Lord himself is the judge, and he will decide whether the Israelites and or the Ammonites are going to do what's right. And the Ammonite king refused to listen to the message that Jephthah had to send to him. Why you didn't listen? So let me give you guys basically what just happened, what I just read. So boom, Jephthah, his mother was an S worker. They disowned him. So he said, okay, well, I'm gonna go my own way. He became a rebel. And now he had his own crew. When the people of Gilead, the Israelite people, they realized he had that ism and he had that humble, and he was very humble, but he was also gave good leadership skills. They asked him, can you rule over us? He said, well, why would I want to mess with y'all after y'all disown me just because of the fact of who my mama was? And they said, well, because we gonna promise you. And then he was like, okay, well, if y'all promise, then y'all gonna have to stand by your word, because he was a man of God. The HP, the one OGOD. Hey, Lizzie, thank you so much for following, baby. I'm gonna follow you back. What's up, Miranda? So, next thing you know, he the king. He told him, he said, first of all, why you got so much beef with the Israelites? And so the other king that want to fight them, he was like, well, the reason why I got beef with them is because they came over here and took all our stuff. They came over here to took that land, this land, that land, this land. He said, okay, well, let me break it down to you. Let me tell you what really happened, because you obviously got it confused. They wasn't trying to come and take nobody's thing. They was trying to travel through. And since they wanted to travel through, they asked politely, let us get through here real quick, scoot over. And the people was like, no, they didn't want to scoot over. They didn't want to let them through. So the Lord, the HP, the one and only God, ate, and whatever they had to eat was taken from them. Because first of all, you should have just let them come through like they asked. But no, y'all wanted to be bullies, and y'all thought that you was just going to be power hungry, and we didn't trust them and all this and the third. So they came over there and they did the big one. That's what happened. So you mad at them because of why? And then on top of that, then they conquer this king, that king, this king, that king. What makes you think you're going to be any different? What makes you think you're going to win if this king didn't, if that king didn't? So if you come in, and we ain't got no problem. But if you come over here, then it's gonna be a problem, because you got a problem. Do we have a problem? Wake it up. So basically, that's what just happened right here. And I ain't gonna lie, Jephthah, however you say your name, I like you, friend. I like you, friend. He ate. He because he did his research. Because he knew where he came from. See, that's another thing. People go astray. They forget who they are. They forget who they came from. They forget where they originated from. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever in your life forget that you're not that gal. Like, you're not that gal. You are, and they're mad and they're sick. And sometimes you on your way of being great. On your way of being great, there's people that need to get out the way. And if they don't get out the way, then they're going to get out the way. Okay? Does that make sense? Because it's not up to you. It's not up to me. It's not up to him. These are thems or thous. It is up to the one and only HPGOD. Where Jesus went? Where's Jesus when you need him? Jesus. So Japheth, I like you. I feel like I feel like you ate, and I feel like you're gonna be a good leader, and I feel like he got a little sense, and I feel like because his mother was an S worker, and because he went through his trials and tribulations, he's humble enough, experienced enough, and wise enough to do his big one. And I think they made a good choice. So we're gonna see what it's given so far. But y'all know I'm a bad judge of character, so hopefully he eat. So Japheth makes a foolish promise to God. I told y'all. Then the Lord, I get the liking somebody off of one action, and then next thing you know, they get the cut. I'm like, I didn't see that coming. So the Lord's Spirit took hold of Jephthah. Jephthah traveled through the land of Gilead and out of the Manasseh. He arrived to Mizpah in Gilead, and he prepared to fight against the Ammonites. Jephthah promised the Lord, please let us win the battle against the Ammonites. Then, when I return home safely, I will give you a burnt offering. Whatever is first to come out through the door of my house as I arrive, I will offer it to you as a sacrifice. What? Oh, he must have forgot about the burnt offerings. God ain't never played about them burnt offerings. If you was just coming in here and you don't know about the burnt offerings and how God don't play about those, well then, friend, you're gonna have to head over to my YouTube, or you're gonna have to go over to my TikTok, and you're gonna have to go catch some of those clips. But I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, God will not play about them burnt offerings. Them burnt offerings will get you off. If you do it inappropriately, if you don't do it right, Moses couldn't even go, child. Child, listen. If you ain't why would you do that? You must see, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we get our heads big and we become arrogant and we start forgetting what it is and what it ain't. Sometimes. Okay? Sometimes. He said, "When I return home safely, I will give you a burnt offering. Whatever is first to come out the door of my house as I arrive, I will offer it to you as a sacrifice." What do you mean? So what if you come home and one of your kids come walking through the door? Then what? What if you come home and your wife or your honey bunches of oats, hi Brian, your honey bunches of oats come through that door? Then what you gonna do? What you gonna offer then? What if you get home and your most prized possession come walking through that door? That's the first thing that come out the door. That's the promise that you made to God. You got to stand on business. That is a command. Then, so y'all, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we get confident. Sometimes we feel like we got that ism, and then sometimes we get carried away. He should have just sat there and ate his food. He should have focused on his biscuit. Because now you making promises that you just may not be able to keep, friend. And y'all know what happened to the first priest son. Back up. Why is you so close all in my face like that? Back up. You getting too close. I don't need to be you don't need to be breathing all up on me. I don't do body heat. Yeah, they getting all over here and all up in all right, I'm gonna let you slide today because I see you tuned in, but not too much, friend. Not oh, so then, so he made that promise. So we gonna see what it's giving. We gonna see about this foolish mistake that he made. Now we do know that the one and only HPGOD is a forgiving and loving God. So maybe they can come up with an exchange, a negotiation, or arrangement. Make sure I'm decent. Then Jephthah went to attack the Ammonites. The Lord put them under his power, and then Jephthah destroyed them all the way to Aroer and Minnith. He took 20 Ammonite cities as far as Abel Karamin, Kuramim. Child, I can't say that word. You go figure it out. That's gonna be Judges 11:32. Read and figure out how to say these people's names and stuff. He completely destroyed them. I'm not your mama. So the Israelites had complete power over the Ammonites. After that, Jephthah returned to his home in Mizpah. As he arrived, I knew it. I knew it. Oh my gosh. I knew it. Y'all, comment down below what y'all think was the first thing that came out that man's house. I'm gonna see what he gonna do, because if he do what he said he was gonna do, then you know that we ain't supposed to do that. So after that, Jephthah returned to his home in Mizpah. As he arrived, his daughter came out to meet him. She was dancing and making music with the trombone. She was Jephthah's only child. He had no other son or daughter. When Jephthah saw her, he was so upset and he tore his clothes. And he said, "Oh no, my daughter, you have made me very sad. I have made a promise to the Lord that I must do what I promised." Oh, okay. Don't hurt the baby. Oh, don't hurt the baby. She's just a little girl. She was singing, y'all. She was so happy. I'm saying, if he do, he bet not. I know he ain't fit to do it. Y'all think he gonna? Ooh, he about to piss me off. Where's Jesus? You need him. What? I know you lying. Now, if you knew anything about the HPD, you know that he don't do children. You should have took like maybe. Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm scared because what is it? You got to keep the call. You have to keep the promise with you. Are you? Oh, Abraham. You ain't hear Abraham's story? And she said to her father, she said, "You have made a promise to the Lord. You must do to me what you told him you would do." Oh! The Lord gave you the power to punish your enemies, the Ammonites. So you must do what you promised him. Please allow me to do this one thing. Let me walk in the hills with my friends for 2 months. And I need time to be sad because I will be unalive before I can marry a man. Well, shoot, she sound like she sound like she was with it, but I don't know. So Jephthah said, "You may go," and he sent her away from home for 2 months. She and her friends walked on the hills. They wept together because she would never marry. After 2 months, she returned to her father Jephthah, and he did what he had promised the Lord. His daughter never married because of that. The young woman of Israel now goes into the hills for 4 days every year, and they do that to remember the daughter of Jephthah, the man from Galilee. You're lying. I ain't lying. That's Judges 11 verse 34 through 40. Oh my Lanta. You're lying. I am not lying. I'm reading the easy version. Do it even say what her name was? That's crazy. Oh my. I can't, guys. I need a moment. What? Jephthah. I'm going to read it again. Maybe I read something wrong. Jephthah made a promise to the Lord. "Please let us win the battle against the Ammonites." Then, now I'm starting from Judges 11, verse 30, and we're going to read all the way through. So if you want to catch this tea, you need to catch this tea. Now, this is trifling, but I don't know if it's trifling. Is it? I don't know. Jephthah promised the Lord, "Please let us win the battle against the Ammonites. Then, when I return home safely, I will give you a burnt offering. Whatever the first thing that comes out of my door, I will offer to you as a sacrifice." Then Jephthah went to attack the Ammonites. The Lord put him under his power. Okay, he completely destroyed them, so the Israelites had complete power over the Ammonites. After that, Jephthah returned to his home in Mizpah. As he arrived, his daughter came out to meet him, and she was dancing and making music with a tambourine. Oh, she was Jephthah's only child, and he had no other son or daughter. When Jephthah saw her, he was so upset he tore his clothes, and he said, "Oh no, my daughter, you have made me very sad. I have made a promise to the Lord that I must do what I promised." She said to her father, "You have made a promise to the Lord. You must do what you got to do. So please allow me to do this one thing." She said, "Let me walk into the hill with my friends for 2 months. I just need time to be sad because I will be unalive before I get to marry." And Jephthah said, "You may go." He sent her away from home for 2 months. She and her friends walked to the hills. They wept together. They were sad. They cried. They grieved. She would never marry. After 2 months, she returned to her father, Jephthah, and he did what he had promised to do, what he promised the Lord. His daughter never married. Because of that, the young women of Israel now go to the hills for 4 days every year, and they do that to remember the daughter of Jephthah. The man from Gilead. Oh my God. Now that's just. Let's have a moment of silence for that woman. All right. So far we get to see another leader. Okay. This leader is the name Jephthah. I think I'm saying that right. I might be saying it wrong. That's J-E-P as in Paul, H-T as in Tango, H-A-H. Okay, now he is a humble leader who came from a humble beginning, whose mother was an S worker, so they disowned him. But when they found out that he had that ism and that swag, then they asked him to be the leader. He became their leader, and he promised God that he would make him a burnt offering of the first thing that walked out his door if God leads him to victory. God led him to victory, and that first thing that walked out of his door just so happened to be his only child, which was his daughter, and he stood on business and he made that burnt offering that he had did with God. Now, that is going to be Judges 11. Read the whole thing. We are heading into Judges 12. We're going to close out here. Okay, so Jephthah and Ephraim's tribe, they begin to argue. So the men of Ephraim's tribe joined together to make an army. They went across the Jordan River to Zaphon, and they said to Jephthah, "Why did you go and fight against the Ammonites without us? You should have asked us to go with you. Now we will burn down your house with you inside it." I know you lying. That was a big threat. Not at the beginning of the chapter, child. So we go see what Jephthah got to say about that. So Jephthah said, "I did ask for your help. That was when my people, when I first had a quarrel with the Ammonites, but you refused to rescue us. When I realized that you would not come to help us, we attacked the Ammonites ourselves. I put my life in danger, but the Lord put the Ammonites under my power. So why have you come to attack me now?" So Jephthah brought together all the men of Gilead. They fought against the men of Ephraim's tribe. The men of Gilead won the fight, obviously, and they were angry because the men of Ephraim had insulted them. And they said, "You people of Gilead have ran away to live on the land of Ephraim and Manasseh." After that, Gilead's army put guards at the places where people could go across the Jordan River. They wanted to stop people from the Ephraim going across the river. If one of Ephraim's soldiers was trying to escape, they would ask him, do you belong to Ephraim's tribe?" And the man would say, "No, I do not." Then they would tell him, "Say, Zebulith, Shibboleth." People from Ephraim could not say the word properly. So if the man said Sibboleth, and then they would take hold of them and unalive them. And that day they unalived 42,000 soldiers of Ephraim at those places on the Jordan River. Jephthah led Israel for 6 years. Then he passed away, and they buried him in his own town in Gilead. So that is the end of Jephthah's story, and then we'll get into the new leaders, which is going to be Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, when they lead the Israelites. And we obviously, the Israelites might get the cutting up again now that their new leader has passed on. That seems to be a pattern that they have. They have a good leader. The leader leads them on. They stand on business. They worship God, and then their leader pass away, and the next thing you know, they start running and going astray again, and then they get to begging for God for help again, and then God get them some new leaders, and then So we're gonna see what these new leaders are giving at the next Bible Tea Party. Before we close out, I just want to say, guys, thank you guys for coming in today. I pray that the Lord has reached as many of you guys that did come into the Bible Tea Party. I pray that I was able to deliver this word in a efficient, understanding way. If you are down with the get down, head over to my YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Head over to my TikTok, follow. I will follow you back. If you have a short attention span, head on over to my TikTok. I do post clips of each live so that way you guys can have an idea of what is given and what it ain't. And I thank you guys so much for coming in. I am going to close this live out, and I'm actually going to pick back up on the actual TikTok site just so that way I can see what it's giving off of the stream. So we're just going to chill for a little bit longer just because I do owe you guys a little bit more of my time, and then we'll get into some tea. Okay, guys? But again, it is your girl Cassie King, and I am out.